the Episcopal bishop who delivered a sermon on Tuesday that provoked a reaction from Donald Trump, has once again addressed the president, just hours before Trump demanded an apology from her. Following the viral incident, Reverend Mariann Budde appeared on CNN to elaborate on her decision to directly address Trump during a national prayer service. She noted that although Trump criticized her sermon, his reaction could have been more severe. During her speech at the Washington National Cathedral, Budde implored, "In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives." She also spoke against Trump's plans for mass deportations, stating, "The vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. May I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away." When initially questioned about the sermon, Trump remarked that he didn't think it was a good service, and suggested that they could do much better. On CNN, Budde explained to the anchor that she aimed to remind everyone of the humanity of those frightened in the country. She highlighted that these individuals have been portrayed negatively throughout the political campaign. "I wanted to counter as gently as I could, with a reminder of their humanity and their place in our wider community," she explained. "I was speaking to the president because I felt he has this moment now where he feels charged and empowered to do what he feels called to do. And I wanted to say, there is room for mercy," she continued. "There's room for broader compassion. We don't need to portray with a broad brush, in the harshest of terms, some of the most vulnerable people in our society who are in fact our neighbors, our friends, our children, our friends' children, and so forth." When asked about Trump's reaction, Budde agreed with the anchor that it was muted. She added, "I keep my expectations low whenever I preach. I can't always measure impact by body language or even what people say afterwards, so I have to let all of that go. I speak from what I believe I've been given to say and let it go from there," she continued. It was a respectful response. "He didn't like it, he said so. He said we could do better. Some of the other comments I've received haven't been as kind or as muted, shall we say." Two such examples were Alabama Senator Tommy Tuberville, who suggested that Budde was spreading negativity, and Georgia Republican Representative Mike Collins, who called for Budde to be deported. However, after her appearance on CNN, Trump took to Truth Social with a harsher tone and demanded a public apology. He wrote, "The so-called bishop who spoke at the national prayer service on Tuesday morning was a radical left hardline Trump hater. She brought her church into the world of politics in a very ungracious way. She was unpleasant in tone and not compelling or smart." He continued with remarks about the giant crime wave of illegal immigrants, before adding that, apart from her inappropriate statements, the service was very boring and uninspiring. "She's not very good at her job. She and her church owe the public an apology."